Can I ask what that return?
38% for the investment.
30 please. Wow. Okay.
Developers doing these kind of payment plans, it's a great time to get into the market, especially if now we're going to be looking at kind of your 18-month holds or so like this, because I can only see us coming out of what's happening, and with those benefits from this, it's only going to help.
We believe in the stability of the UAE and the resilience, specifically, I think, in Abu Dhabi. There's a difference, but yo, guys, back for another episode. This time, my homies. This time, my homies.
So everyone's talking about the UAE market right now, but what is actually happening on the ground? We're here with Alex and Lucas to tell us exactly what's going on.
Good to be here again.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
So just tell us in just a few short words what's happening in the UAE market today.
I'll let you take this.
Okay, UAE market, exciting market. We've seen a lot of uncertainty. We're coming out on the other side now. People are feeling more secure. I think the worst part, in my humble opinion, is over. And I think we'll bounce back fairly quickly. There's a difference between sales and rentals, but we'll get into that, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And right now, who's driving the market? Is it investors? Is it buyers? Is it the rental market that's carrying?
I would say it's a bit of a broad spectrum. Let's say there's investors looking for any deals at good prices, because especially long-term investors, because there's a lot to come, I think, over the next 5-10 years. People are looking at this point. Yeah. The ones who are looking at the short-term flips, they've taken a step back out of the market.
Sure.
And then so there's still end users. There's still people wanting to buy family homes, to see themselves here living for the long future.
Which is why Abu Dhabi is so stable.
Yeah.
These people seem to always, Abu Dhabi always is a home to these people, including ourselves. So,
I've been there nearly 5 years now.
5 years.
It's come quick.
And you've taken the initiative to buy a place in this time.
Yep. A couple of weeks ago.
We believe in the stability of the UAE and the resilience, specifically, I think, in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, and I think big thing that I'm seeing recently is a lot of real estate brokers are buying, which I think shows a lot. Yeah. People who are here on the market, who kind of know what's happening up and down, can see value, they're the ones who are buying a lot as well.
So basically the experts in the industry are also investing in the same industry.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. They're doubling down.
Absolutely. Yeah. And have you had to adjust your approach to your clients or within the business in order to get through this?
I think so, a bit. I think it's
more cautious.
People are more cautious, 100%, because you don't know what's going to happen. There's still a little bit on the knife edge, Yeah. But people are still buying, but they're kind of looking for the right investment now. It used to be easier for a lot of brokers where they would just kind of sell based on the hype. Now it's not so much on the hype, it's an actual kind of, they're looking down, what's a good investment, what's not, what am I looking for? Long-term, short-term, rental yield, capital appreciation. There's so many factors to look at now, and people are really thinking about what they're deciding on.
Right. And what are people hesitating about? I mean, you did say that there has been a dip. You're starting to come out. Are there still hesitations from clients?
Yeah, there's still hesitations for sure. I mean, we're all still hesitant. Our life hasn't gone fully back to normal. But like I said, I think we're just about to get there, I think that's where most hesitation comes from. Schools were closed. Kids were, that creates an unstable environment. Once I think the family home goes back to normal, then decisions are made normally again, And I think we're very close. The schools have opened now. So I think that's one of the most positive signs, I think. And that will add a lot of confidence back into the market.
So for anyone outside of the UAE right now who was looking to invest, what would you say to them now?
I think now's a good time, right? There's a couple of good deals you can pick up in the market. I do think it's a good time to be going. And every time we've had something happen before, COVID, so on, is people who have always bought during that time always end up doing well. It's going to be the same thing.
So you think that people are sort of overthinking it a little bit, or?
Some people, I think when it first kicked off, yes. I think now a lot less people. I know some people who were panicking initially and were like, God, we need to sell.
Yeah.
They're kind of being like, oh, actually it's okay. It's all coming either to an end or it's getting closer to an end. So we're seeing people kind of think more about their decisions instead of a panic.
What I find interesting is that I think people have learned from COVID, where during COVID people panicked because it was a genuine panic. fair enough. But I think those same people are still in the market, and this time they're not panicking. In fact, they're holding on. They're saying, well, the market has gone down on average. We are not selling at a low price. We are waiting until things recover. And I think that's what's keeping this sort of relatively stable. These people, they've learned from their mistakes, and we see that, we feel that. People are, like I said, there's a few distresses for sure, but not really.
Not as many as I would expect.
Yeah, we thought there was.
We're at the stop. Yeah,
we thought it was going to be more, which is great.
Absolutely. For anybody who's wanting to invest for the first time, this gives a lot of reassurance. Yeah. Are there any sort of cautions that you would give to a new buyer or a new investor in the UAE? Anything to stay away from? Anything to sort of steer their attention to?
I would kind of stay away from people who are trying to hard sell a little bit, because there is more desperation in the market, let's say from some brokers. So people, and with the kind of more attractive payment plans you're seeing and stuff like this, people are trying to sell anything. You'll find a lot of people. You do really have to look at what you're buying now, because there's some great stuff, there's some decent stuff, there's some shocking stuff. There's a kind of complete mixture. So it's not the case of buy anything and Abu Dhabi is going to go up, everything's going to shoot up. You really need to think about why you're buying and pick the right investment.
Right. If you were to give us 2 points to look out for in the perfect property here in investing, what would that be?
I think location's a big thing. It's always a big thing, but over here you've got Yaz with all of the things due to come up on Yaz. You've got Hudayrat, which is kind of thriving at the moment. There's a big hype on this. I think it has slowed down a little bit, but there's lots to come. Reem with ADGM. There's a lot of areas with different factors which are going to be good, but some which are probably a little bit more short term, some which you're going to be waiting 10 years for it to be fully done. So it depends what you're looking for.
I would maybe be cautious of sort of mid to high end off-plan properties, off-plan launches that are still 4 or 5 years away, or let's say 3 or 4 years away. There I'd be a bit cautious. I think as long as you stick close to prime areas, especially the ones you've mentioned, and you stay within the low to mid range, not too concerned. I think that's still, go for it. There's no problem there. As long as once you get, not the ultra luxury section, that part will always be okay. That always performs well, historically speaking. But that sort of mid to high end where you're seeing, 2 beds for really silly prices. There's no launches like that at the moment, but that would maybe just hold on a little bit longer. I don't think it's necessary to jump into that at the moment.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the near future. Let's say 6 to 12 months in Abu Dhabi. What would you say is going to be the places to look up for, or how do you think the market will continue to change?
I think it's hard to tell what's happening over the next year, let's say, because we're still at a bit of a crossroads on what's happening. I think it's going to recover. I think the market's going to go up. I think we needed a correction, which we're having, because it was very much seller heavy, developer heavy.
It's a complete seller's market.
Yeah.
People were getting away with almost anything.
Yeah.
And it's, every now and then it's good to have I wish it hadn't been to that extent, but it's good to have let's come back.
So we were expecting a market correction at some point anyway, so it kind of came a little earlier than...
There was so much talk about that. Leading up to this conflict, there was so much talk of a market correction coming. And finance houses were warning about it, and
people being priced out a little bit, I think, as well, especially homeowners living here. They were kind of like, well, prices have gone up 50, 60, 70% over the last couple of years. Like, what is going on, It's a bit unheard of. And then now it's dropped a little bit. I think people are looking, okay, let's try and get in now before it inevitably goes back up again.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think off-plan projects close to completion, where you can find good deals at the moment. If you can find a good deal, that's something to go for.
Absolutely.
Sustainable City.
Yeah, it's a name drop. Sustainable City is good. Sillavi is good. And yes, just to mention a couple, I think.
Right.
Continue performing well.
I know you provide a really unique service or option for new investors who are cautious, that don't want to put everything in one basket, is with your investors group. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So there you go. The idea of just pulling some of our plans into a group and just putting news in there, our opinions, which weren't always
Honest opinions.
Honest opinions, which were
Absolutely.
always
Think
well
something's
regarded.
The hard
bad,
truths.
we
The
say
hard
it.
truths, that's
Yeah.
sometimes people want to hear, but
Yeah.
we started off that way. I think people really appreciated it. We let it just sort of grow organically. We didn't advertise for it or do anything.
Just kind of people invited their friends and their family members, and it grew from there. And that Alex, I'm gonna let you speak for you, but then a couple years ago you started
Yeah.
buying stuff. with
So
clients.
then, a couple of years ago, I bought a few places with clients, two
Yes.
of us, three of us. And it's kind of, I had a lot of people going, we want to be involved. What's happening? We were buying, we were flipping within 6 to 18 months, let's say, roughly. Splitting up the costs of that just so we could buy a bit of a selection of what we were looking at. We did it with Sadiat Lagoons, we did it with a couple of others. And that went well. Had a lot of people asking, how do we get involved? And that's where we kind of put it into our WhatsApp group, where I think we had 100 people plus kind of reach out and be like, we want to get involved.
And do you involve 100 people in each buy, or is
No,
it?
No. So it's very much as we see an option that we think
Yeah.
is a decent buy, we put it in there. We have a poll of who's interested, maybe 30, 40, 50, 60 in that
Yeah.
project. We then make a separate group with those people. And that's where we kind of go through all of the details, what the plan is, and so on. So
Mhm.
the way we've done it in the last ones is we've split it up into 50K shares for the first down payment. So if it's a unit of 5 million with 10% down, you're looking at 600K down, including the ADM fee.
Yeah.
So that's 12 shares.
Amazing.
So that's split up between, people can take 1, 2, 3, 4. What we did most recently, we bought a couple of units somewhere, and we had 13 or 14 people involved. And those shares were split up between the two units. So you own a bit of that and a bit of that. So as one sells, you get part of your investment back,
Amazing.
just to diversify a little bit. It's something we want to grow on a big scale.
Mhm.
We've started doing it. We started doing it with clients we have, clients we know, their friends, family, so on, so on. But it is definitely something we want to grow on the larger scale.
And what type of person or investor would be most suitable for this?
Anyone who
Really?
Anyone's
Anyone.
welcome.
Can be,
The door is open.
We've had people who have kind of never bought here before,
Correct.
Right.
who want
That
to
was a bit-
start off, get into the market, see how it works, but not
Mhm.
buy a whole unit themselves. And then I've had people who have got 5, 6, 7, 8 units already, personally,
Complete
themselves.
mixture.
And they go, oh, we just want to put a bit of money into something, be a complete mixture, and forget about it, because you kind of put your money, we'll leave it to us. That's it.
And I
Right.
think what's confidence inspiring for the people in the group is that we buy shares too. So it's not just,
Right.
we also sort of put money where our mouth is, and I think they feel quite confident with that. So do
Absolutely.
we. Yeah.
Amazing.
So they think we wouldn't, if we're putting our own money in, that we wouldn't buy something that is not worthwhile.
Yeah.
And where do you see this group going, this investors group going in the next, let's say, 6 months, 12 months,
We've been very
2
organic
years?
about it. I don't know. I don't have. We have big plans for it,
Yeah.
but we're not executing on those at the moment with so much going on.
Lots of things happening at the moment.
Lots of things happening at the moment. Ideally, it would be a real estate fund structure,
Yeah.
which is what we've looked into. The barriers to entry are quite high, so
Quite high, and it's having the people who then are investing have to have certain qualifications, this, to be able to invest in something
Yeah.
linked to ADGM. But this is one option. There's a couple of different routes to go. Limited companies. There's companies that do part ownerships. I think in Dubai, stakes. I think
is the
do
most famous one. Yeah.
most famous ones. So won't go down that route. But there's other companies that do similar sort of things.
Absolutely. Are there any risks involved in joining such a group?
There's always a risk in the sense of
Investment is risky.
it's an investment, right?
Yeah.
The market can tank, everything happen, and you still are liable to pay for your part of the shares. So always, I wouldn't say put as much as you can afford to lose, because it's property. It's never going to go to zero and cash out. There's always going to bounce back and so on. But be prepared where even if we're aiming for, say, a 1-year target or 18-month target to cash out, it might go to 2, 2.5, 3 years.
We
You don't know.
advise
Depends
people
on the
for
markets.
that always.
Yeah.
It could
So
always
you
happen.
do advise people, you do share the risks beforehand,
course.
there's
Fully.
transparency
Yeah, of
involved.
course, of
Amazing.
course.
100%.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And if someone wants to be involved, who should they contact?
Anyone. Me, Lucas, Altura as
Yeah.
a group.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Drop a message anywhere.
Well,
So we'll leave those comments in the description below so that you can reach out
Yeah.
to them
Yeah,
and
we'll
get more information in the investors group. I just wanted to go back to the type of properties that your group would invest in. We know that there are many successful projects coming out right now, like Tara from Modern, and we have Shoba for the first time in Abu Dhabi. Tell me more about what you look for.
Yeah, I look at it as, look, there's loads and loads of projects, you know?
Yeah.
Not as many as Dubai, let's say, but there's still lots coming up here. And a lot of Dubai developers, kind of very reputable Dubai developers are coming down here. Shoba, Damak, I think, are coming. Benghazi, I think, are on their way down. So there's a lot coming down here. And a lot of choice, a lot of options. So it's very much what we look for. The way we are looking at the group is mainly on kind of an off-plan reselling. Right?
Yeah.
Whether that is, I think, a year ago used to be a little bit more short-term. A year ago, you were looking at kind of a 6 to 12 month turnaround, like we had with the Wadim plot. That was 4 months. But now it's probably looking at more of a, say, 18-month time frame or so.
Yeah, the Wadim plot was great, actually. I mean, it's good that you touched upon that. That was a 3-4 month turnaround, which we didn't really expect. We prepared everyone to hold on to it a bit longer. And then everyone made a decent return on their investment.
Can I ask what that return?
38%.
38%.
30%. Wow.
In about 4 months,
Yeah.
which was great.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's always going to be that quick. But I think we're very good when it comes to selecting what could work. For example, plots, I think in Abu Dhabi are a no-brainer.
Far and few between.
Yeah, far and few between, and they're kind of a no-brainer. If you have access to a plot in Abu Dhabi for a good price, just go for it. You know, no need to think about it. But yeah, it's sort of that methodology that we apply.
I think it's something that's not out there.
That's not
Even
out there.
that we see good value in.
Yeah.
For
In a good
example, the last couple we did were the Bashara apartments, kind of full sea view, and the price we thought for what you're getting is amazing. So we got a couple of 3-beds there for 4.5, 4.9, full sea view. Anything else, kind of, you compare that to, you look at a full sea view Mayan, they're 6.5 to 7 million. Mamsha, okay, it's not Mamsha, but they're 20 plus million. But there's not that much else with that sea view.
Yeah, that
and
product
that
category is not. You don't really see it that much. You know?
No, even if you look at Yaz Golf Collection, the prices there, the sea view ones have shot up from what they originally were. And there's just not that much, like you say, in that category. So that we like. Townhouses and villas, I think, are good if they're in the right location.
Yeah.
Townhouses, I always see a lot of value in because there's a lot of entry to market there because a lot of families live here, move here. People like their own gardens, and townhouses can kind of range anywhere from launching now, in the 3s up to the 6s, let's
Townhouses
say.
are such a great entry point, you know, for an investor, I think, or even an end user. It's just, it captures so much of the market because Abu Dhabi, most of it is families. People move here with good salaries, and most of the time they have a family. You know, they have a wife, a child, maybe 2, and they might not want to make that step to a village. Even though maybe they could, so they say, okay, you know what? A townhouse is good enough for now, and inevitably that townhouse goes up in value. In 2-3 years, they tend to sell a townhouse, buy a villa. I mean, townhouses are great. I think every time there's a townhouse that is priced within reason in a sort of A-class location, and you have access to it.
No, I think
I
think the next one we could be looking at are the townhouses in Modon, on Hudrayat. There's 1,000 or so townhouses due to come there.
Yep.
You already had Niawef Village, which were townhouses already. They were doing well. People are kind of getting 20, 30, 40% on their investment, kind of increase on what they initially invested, the 10 or 20% down. So I think that's a good thing to look at potentially next. So anyone who's interested, let us know on that. But I think it's definitely one that we'll look out for.
Yeah.
And one very simple question. Why now?
Why the investor group now? Why invest with us now?
Why would you recommend?
I think we're at that pivotal moment where prices are down, the payment plans are better with lots of developers. You have Modon, who just launched Tara, which was 40, 60, 5% paid this year. Nothing till Feb next year, I think it was. And
it's these kind of incentives that.
Yeah, that probably wasn't a project that we would look for flipping. It's more of a long-term investment. But with developers doing these kind of payment plans, it's a great time to get into the market, especially if now we're going to be looking at kind of your 18-month holds or so like this, because I can only see us coming out of what's happening. And with those benefits from this, it's only going to help.
Amazing. So that's all the time we have today. I thank you so much for joining us. And I hope you join us again next week when we have the
Nice.
very lovely Layla House joining us on Stacked.
You don't want to miss that.